Good morning, Virgo. Before we go into this reading, I want to speak to everyone who has been showing up in this space, leaving comments, sending energy this way, coming back again and again. I feel you. I read what you write, and it matters more than you know. To those who are new here today, welcome. Something guided you here. Trust that. And to those who have been here, thank you for the trust you continue to place in this space. Now, let us go into what is coming through, because today, what is coming through is heavy, and you need to hear it. Something is wrong in your environment, not on the surface. On the surface, things may look functional enough. Conversations still happen. Smiles still get exchanged. The ordinary rhythms of daily life continue moving. But underneath all of that, there is something that does not belong. Something hidden. Something that has been carefully, deliberately kept out of your line of sight. And if you are a Virgo, or if this energy is speaking directly to your situation right now, I need you to stay with me through every word of this reading. Because what I am seeing in front of me today is not light material. It is the kind of thing that asks you to be honest with yourself about what you have been sensing, but perhaps not allowing yourself to fully acknowledge. You have felt it, haven't you? That thing underneath, that quiet wrongness you could not quite name. Let me describe what I am looking at. There is a scene in front of me, and it is striking in a way I was not prepared for when I sat down with this energy today. I see a figure standing in near total darkness. Around this figure, there are shapes, presences, other figures who are partially visible but not fully in the light. And what is immediately clear to me is that these surrounding presences know something. There is a quality of shared awareness between them, a secret that moves between them like a current, something they hold together that this central figure has not been permitted to see. And the central figure is you. You have been standing in a space where the people closest to you, or the person who was once closest to you, have been holding something in the shadows. Something they made a deliberate choice not to bring into the light. Not an omission born of carelessness, a deliberate choice, a decision made consciously to keep you in the dark about something that directly affects you. I want to talk about what it feels like to be in that position, because I think you know this feeling. I think you have lived inside it for longer than you have admitted to yourself. There is a particular kind of disorientation that comes from being in an environment where something is fundamentally off, but you cannot locate the source, where your instincts are firing quietly but persistently, and yet the people around you are presenting a version of reality that does not match what your body is telling you. And because you are Virgo, because you are someone who values precision and does not want to be wrong, you may have turned that disorientation inward. You may have questioned your own perception, told yourself you were being paranoid, oversensitive, irrational, talked yourself out of what your nervous system was trying to communicate. That self-doubt was not an accident. It was cultivated. There is another image coming forward, and this one is more specific. I see hands. Not one pair, but two. And between those hands, something is being arranged, deliberately positioned, like pieces being placed on a board, not randomly, but with intention and forethought. And what these hands are arranging involves you without your knowledge, without your consent, without any consideration for what it costs you. This is the image that keeps surfacing when I hold this energy, and I cannot look away from it, because what it is showing me is not a spontaneous act of selfishness or a moment of poor judgment. What it is showing me is premeditation. Someone, or more than one person, sat with a plan, shaped it, executed steps within it. And you were the one this plan was built around, not to protect you, not to support you, but to position you in a way that served them. The question I want to sit with you in right now is not what they did exactly. The details belong to your life and your discernment. The question is, what has this done to your energy field? Because here is what prolonged exposure to hidden manipulation does. It does not only affect the mind, it affects the body, it affects the nervous system. It creates a state of chronic low-level alertness that is deeply exhausting because you are responding to a threat your conscious mind has not fully identified yet. Your system knows something is wrong. It is working constantly to locate the source, and that constant invisible effort drains you in ways that can look like fatigue, like sudden emotional heaviness, like that inexplicable feeling of being depleted even after rest. Some of you watching this right now have been living in that depletion, and you have been attributing it to other things: stress, overwork, the general difficulty of life. But there is a layer beneath all of those explanations that you have perhaps been reluctant to examine. The environment around you has not been safe, and your body has known it. Does this land somewhere specific for you? Is there a relationship, a family dynamic, a situation with someone from your past that is coming to mind right now as you hear this? You do not have to name it out loud, but I want you to sit with whatever is surfacing, because the fact that it is surfacing means something. Let me know in the comments if this reading is speaking to something real in your life. Even just a yes, even just a single word. I want to know that this is reaching the people it is meant to reach. Now I want to show you something else that is in front of me, because this reading is not only about what was done, it is also about what is happening right now, in this moment, energetically. I see light beginning to enter from one corner of the scene, not flooding in, not dramatic or sudden, entering slowly, the way light enters a room when someone opens a door from a great distance. Thin at first, but real. And in that light, details that were previously invisible are beginning to take shape. The secret is not as protected as they believe it is. Whatever has been held in the shadows, whatever has been carefully kept out of your awareness, it is beginning to show edges. It is beginning to cast a shape that can be detected, not because anyone has chosen to reveal it yet, but because things held in darkness for long enough always begin to leak. The pressure of concealment builds. The energy required to maintain the illusion increases. And at a certain point, the architecture of a secret starts to show its own cracks. You are approaching that point. I want to address something directly that I feel is important for this specific reading. There is a difference between spiritual danger and the kind of danger that requires practical, immediate action in the physical world. What I am reading here is energetic. It is the field of deception, of hidden intent, of an environment that has been shaped around you without your knowledge or agreement. That is real. It has real effects. And taking it seriously, paying attention to it, allowing yourself to trust your instincts about the people and situations that do not feel right, all of that is completely valid and important. But I also want to say this clearly. If anything in your real, physical, daily life makes you feel genuinely unsafe, that requires real-world action, speaking to someone you trust, seeking support outside of the dynamic that concerns you, consulting professionals who can help you assess and navigate what you are facing concretely. What I can offer you here is spiritual clarity and energetic grounding. And what I am offering you right now is this. Your instincts are not wrong. Your sense that something has been off is not paranoia. But you are also not powerless, and you are not alone in this, even when the architecture of what surrounds you has been designed to make you feel exactly that way. Let me go back to the images, because there is a figure I have not described yet that has been at the edge of this reading since the beginning, and I think it is time to bring it fully into focus. I see a woman standing at a doorway. She is facing outward toward an open space, toward light and air, and something that feels genuinely different from the environment she is leaving behind. And in her hands, she holds almost nothing. She has set things down, things she was carrying that were never truly hers to carry in the first place. And the expression on her face is not triumph. It is not even relief yet. It is clarity. The particular quality of clarity that arrives when you finally allow yourself to see something you had been half seeing for a long time. When the pieces arrange themselves into a picture you can no longer pretend is something other than what it is. That woman is also you. Not the you of right now, necessarily, but the you that is becoming available on the other side of this awareness. The version of you that has stopped arguing with your own instincts, that has stopped performing trust you do not genuinely feel in order to keep the peace, that has allowed the full picture to form even though the full picture is painful. I want to talk about the people specifically because the energy around this is not abstract. There are one or two presences in your life, whether currently active or from your recent past, who have been operating from a place of profound self-interest at your direct expense. And the particular quality of what they have done is not impulsive. It carries a coldness that I think has shocked you when you have caught glimpses of it, because on the surface the presentation has been something else entirely. Warmth, perhaps, familiarity, the language of care and closeness. But behind that presentation, there has been a calculation. You have been useful to them in some way, or perhaps you have represented something they wanted, access, stability, something they could leverage or position themselves near. And the darkness of the secret they carried is connected to that usefulness, to the way they have related to you, not as a person to be loved or respected, but as a piece in an arrangement they were building for themselves. This is not easy to hear. And I am not asking you to immediately restructure your entire understanding of these relationships based on a reading. What I am asking is that you give yourself permission to look, to take the instincts you have been managing and quieting and overriding for however long this has been building, and let them speak. Because here is what I know about you, Virgo. When you finally allow yourself to see something clearly, when you stop negotiating with your own perception and simply let the picture form, you do not fall apart. You reorganize, you assess, you become extraordinarily precise and deliberate in a way that most people around you cannot fully anticipate because they have mistaken your patience for passivity. Your patience was never passivity. It was accumulation. You have been gathering information energetically and practically for longer than you realize. And at a certain point, that accumulation reaches a threshold. The picture becomes undeniable. And then you move with a quiet decisiveness that does not announce itself in advance. That threshold is close. I want to speak now to the part of you that is grieving, because there is grief in this reading underneath the alertness and the clarity. Grief for the version of these relationships you believed in. Grief for the trust you extended genuinely and that was not met with equal genuineness. Grief for the energy you invested in people who were holding something dark behind what they showed you. That grief is real and it deserves to be acknowledged. You do not have to rush past it in order to get to the part where you are strong again. The strength and the grief can coexist. They always have in you, actually. You are someone who continues to function while carrying real weight. It is one of your most profound capacities, and also sometimes one of the ways you deny yourself the full experience of what you are actually feeling. Feel this one. Let it move through you without immediately converting it into action or analysis. The grief of being deceived by someone close, of discovering that an environment you trusted was not what it appeared. That is something worth sitting in for a moment before you decide what comes next. And then, when you are ready, you decide what comes next. Not from a place of anger, though anger may be part of it and anger is legitimate. Not from a place of hurt, though the hurt is real, but from that place of quiet, precise Virgo clarity that sees the situation exactly as it is and moves accordingly. You protect yourself, not by shrinking, not by becoming someone who can no longer trust or connect or invest in people, but by becoming someone whose trust is now calibrated with full awareness. Someone who knows what was done, who did it, and what that information means for how you move forward from here. The secret does not stay a secret. That is the last thing I want to leave you with from these images, because it is the thing that feels most important to say. Whatever is being held in the dark around you, whatever has been carefully concealed and maintained with effort and intention, it has a lifespan. All secrets do. And the energy I am reading tells me that the lifespan of this one is shortening. Whether you are the one who brings it to light or whether it surfaces through its own inevitable unraveling, the concealment is not permanent. And when it comes fully into the open, you will not be caught off guard because you will have already seen it coming. You will have already done the internal work of acknowledging what your instincts have been telling you. You will be ready. Virgo, I want you to know something as we close this reading. The fact that darkness was directed at your energy field does not mean it succeeded in defining you. The fact that someone built something in the shadows around you does not mean you are trapped inside it. You are not a passive recipient of what others decide to do with or around you. You are someone with extraordinary perceptive capacity, with deep inner resources, with an ability to reorganize and reorient that consistently surprises the people who underestimate you. And you are not powerless here. You never were. Come back to your own ground. Trust what you have been sensing. Allow the picture to form without flinching from it. And then, from that place of clear and grounded awareness, take the next right step for yourself. That is all that is asked of you right now. Just the next right step. If this reading reached something real in you today, leave me a comment. Tell me what it touched. Tell me what you have been sensing that you finally feel permitted to acknowledge. This space holds what you bring to it, and I am grateful for every one of you who brings something real. I will see you in the next one.